Welcome to the week of January 13th. The moon beams bright and full midweek in the warm and maternal sign of Cancer at 25 degrees, where she sheds her warmth amplified by Jupiter. Anytime the moon beams bright and full, we tend to see our emotions come untethered, or at least they're in full view. It's kind of like wearing your heart in a sleeve. Like a balloon let loose of air flying willy-nilly as emotions run the full gamut. Our emotions come to the surface at the full moon. It's inevitable. To complicate this further, we have Mars squaring Venus on the very next day. The fact that Mars and Venus are so close at this time indicates that their presence will be surely felt. There's no question about it. Because these planets represent opposing views, and the sexes, males and Mars and Venus is male and female, it's easy to see how the theme of conflict and disagreement might steer the dialogue. Venus is currently retrograde until the end of the month, around the January 31st, and then some. And will be less receptive than any sort of reconsideration. And yet that's what Mars might be demanding, some sort of reconsideration. So right off the bat, we have what looks like might be a tense moment. However, you can also turn this into a very positive aspect. More than an all-out battle, we might see opposing views, desires, and agendas instead of a knockdown, drag-out, fight. As I mentioned last week, unfortunately, the pot has to boil in order to get our attention sometimes. And despite what may occur, this is how progress is made. Sometimes it just has to have it out. You have to kind of air your feelings. The moon is evident in all that. Mercury will be an aspect to Uranus, which might find you wishing you could retrieve your words somehow. So bear that in mind. Once they leave your lips, they are not easily returned. Damage control might be a better use of the time than aggression, for that matter. So Uranus, Mercury, inflammatory, watch your words. Meanwhile, Jupiter in retrograde, but generally happily in Cancer for the most part, will be closing in on the sun of the U.S. in its natal chart. The spotlight will be on us, and we have to use our time while it's there wisely. We are a bellwether for the world, and what happens here does have an impact elsewhere. Are we acting with the right worldly intentions? With the dialogue occurring in Aquarius, we should try and keep the focus on the globe and the preservation of all people. Each week, my website, I put up a load with new content. I've got new astrology for the week. Always read your rising sign. Always read your sun sign. I've got new radio shows with great guests. Some fantastic guests coming up. Surprise guests. You'll be very impressed with as far as who they are and the type of knowledge they bring to it. And if you've ever considered having an astrology reading done, consider contacting me. I'm confidential. I've been doing it for years. I record your session for you. I give you a written report. Very thorough, very accurate, especially for starting off a new year. It's really evident. It's great for kids. I do a lot of teenagers who are trying to figure out where they want to go with regard to career. When you know the exact details of your chart, you get the instructions for your own particular journey. These are like instructions. It's just like an operator's manual. Using the birth date, place, and time, you see where the action is in your life. It's accurate, predictable, validating. In short, astrology works. I've been doing this for years. I also host a radio show every Friday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern on Awakening Zone Radio called Turning of the Wheel, where I interview great guests and we talk about these topics and people have a chance to call in. It's a great show. All my shows are archived on my website and on iTunes. And my website is www.chrisflisher.com. And if you want to, you can call me and contact me through my website, and I'd be happy to help you. And I'll speak with you all next week. Take care.